Okay, peace. Everyone. Here. Get back here, right? So peace, we got Shakim, Atif, AllahChrist, Supreme Islam, Jarrell Boylan, I got sincere, divine understanding, Shaka Nulu. Atif said, I might lose out to basketball. Why are the Knicks playing? Knicks is not playing. I can't see how that might happen. But while we wait for a few more people to come in, now July, we got people here they're gonna get a chance to go through their lessons. We're waiting for a few other more things to happen. Looks like it might not, but we'll see what happens. I got a little city science today. I know we're gonna get the other channel popping, but let's get everything right over there first. We're gonna do it the right way over here. But I was talking to my daughter, and I had to I realized that it's a lesson that I need. I gotta get through there. And I've seen other people have to, learn this lesson. This is formerly a Hotep channel, but I do have to say that I've noticed that it's mostly women that need to hear this. Is that you cannot save money by spending it. I know it might sound, you cannot save money by spending it. You see, this is the scenario I got sincere and I was born divine understanding. Tell me if you've ever seen this scenario, right? Where you've seen a woman, right, with a whole bunch of bags of shit she don't need, right? And she even tells you, I didn't really need this stuff, right? But it was on sale. I saved $200. All right, how much money you got left? I ain't got no money left.
You look at advertising.
Wait a minute.
Every word says.
Wait a minute. See, right. See, now listen. That's when you have to explain someone the signs, that saving money, right? She say, if I save your life, you still got it. You know what I'm saying? See, if you save money, you gotta still have it. Yeah. You can't. You see this concept that you can save money by spending. This is something, like you said, this is a consumer, this is the idea that's been implanted inside your head by the consumer economy that we exist in. Now, it can work indirectly, right? If you're talking about stuff that you need. You understand what I'm saying? Like if it's toilet paper, then you can realize those savings over time because the money you was going to spend on that, because you have to spend money on that, right? Now you can say, okay, now I can just put a little more in the stash. But see, at some point, the stash has to come into play if you're talking about saving money. Like I never really heard a dude use that type of language. Like I heard a dude say, yeah, I got this, I got a good deal on it. You know what I'm saying? They, they was on sale, so yeah, I got it. But to think that you saved money by doing that, right? Your mind has been warped. Your mind has been warped. Shaka News said my homeboy's wife used to do that. Listen, I see, you know what I mean? I guys, it says that I hear that a lot, buying things just because it's on sale, no necessity for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, food is another thing, you know what I'm saying? If it's something that you like, yeah, I eat this all the time. This is a staple of my diet. And I can get it right now at half price. Yeah, now you're talking about something, but when you're talking about things that you don't need, you cannot save money by buying them. Like this is something, you know, it's just one of them things where look, if you come to that realization, you will have a better run in this society that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you that type of mentality is the difference between the 1% and everybody else. Because they realize that you cannot save money by spending. They save your money when you spend it, but they save it in their bank account. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's how you was looking at it. Nah, I said I needed that, been doing that too long, buying out of want. Yeah, I said I gotta buy another whip. Listen, they cover that. The God I be, I just turned off that room where the guy was talking. That guy's a captain. What's his name? Langley or something. I can't remember his name. The dude that he's done everything from fixing prosthetic limbs in Vietnam to free heart surgery for needy kids in Nigeria. That guy, you know what I'm saying? He's a little bit, I was thinking a little bit more too. Remember yesterday we was talking, and I'm waiting, right? Because, with this whole Masonic theory of things, right? This whole thing that, this knowledge that we got is Masonry, and, Masonry was kind of the biggest influence on Elijah and on Elijah making his knowledge born. This is the part, this is one of the parts, this is a couple parts, but we deal with just the basics of the story, right? Here's what I need people to help me understand. At some point, on some level, what you're saying is that Europeans was the holder of the key. Because this story of Masonry, right, and how this would have led up to what we're dealing with right now, right? What you're saying is that the Greeks took it over. The Greeks took it over from the Egyptians. Because think about it, see, that Masonic story never goes through territory where original people live. Like there's no part where the Masonic crown was in Ghana. Or, this person over there, they came from Zimbabwe. They came from Zimbabwe, and then they was dealing with the secrets. Like, who the fuck is Hiram Abiff and where's he from? This is not our fucking story, B. So what you telling me is now these Greeks, they had it. I suppose, I don't know, I guess they handed it off to the Romans. Then the Romans, I guess they lost it when their society fell, right? And then it's mysteriously picked up by the French. It's picked up by the French in the Templars and the Knights Templars, right? And then from there, it expands out to Illuminati, all these different things. And then what you telling me, so from the time the Greeks went to Egypt, right, which is before Christ, right? We talking about BC times, all the way up until sometime in the 1800s when Prince Hall got the keys, right? That's what you're telling me, that they continued to carry it, and then the people in England said, you know what? Let's give this nigga Prince Hall the keys. That's the story you're telling me. That Europeans had all of the keys, right, about the self-actualization and realization of the original man. None of us had it. None of us had it. But they continue, you know, they not only had it, but continue to develop it, right, to the level that we got it right now. Is this what people are contending? Because this is ridiculous, man. Like when you look at 120, where's the Masonic teaching, right, about DNA? See, because in 120, where it tells you about the black germ and the brown germ, yeah, that's been confirmed as not symbolic, right? It's not allegorical. They discovered that in the black man's body exists a black germ and a brown germ. Where in the Masonic teaching do they teach about plate tectonics? When you deal with the science of all this geology, right? That's in the build or destroy degree. Where do they teach that in Masonry? So I hear people, you think just because, they have some shit with 90 degrees and we say we stand on the square, they're not talking about the same thing we talking about. So, that's just another, I understand. I got that guy, Tony Montana, he's still trying to convince me of whatever he's trying to convince me of. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand where people, is a lot of things. Like Isaac Newton could have been a baseball player. That don't have nothing to do with where the Principia came from. But I digress. B said, is The Secrets of Freemasonry actually really an Elijah book? I don't know. I haven't read that book. I've seen it around, but I've never been, like I said, my personal experience, my grandmother is the head or was the head of her Eastern Star Lodge. God, where's Bond? I'm sitting in front of the school, God. This school right here, the G building, right? And this building right here across 126th Street, right on 7th Avenue, right? The Alhambra, they was building a Masonic hall in it. You know what I'm saying? And the people in that particular lodge or whatever, they like well connected to all the other lodges, right? So when they like inaugurating the place, right? There's a parade of Masons, right? Coming down the block, they coming from wherever they coming from, and they marching up, and they about to do whatever consecration they doing to the building. Buzz Howe, my grandmother, was in that parade. So I'm sitting there looking. Listen, I'm looking. The guy is telling me, look, I'll never get it. It was the wisdom, build, or destroy day. You know what I'm saying? And they come watching down the street, and the guy said, see wisdom, build, or destroy right there. So then we start going through the degrees, and he started, yes, that coincide with this, boo, right? Yo, I looked up, and my grandmother is walking down. So just saying that from that personal experience of being around them, nah, they're not like that. And I'm telling you, I've had that experience like throughout life, right? You know, I had different times in school where it's like, yo, all right, you in that program right there, you had to pass a test to get in there. And I remember being in some of them programs and wondering, how you got in? Like, yeah, I'm not impressed. You know what I'm saying? And then I could tell you people, there was this girl named Liz. Liz, whenever this was a math class, and every time we had to come into the math class, the teacher had these problems up on the board. So that's how the class started. You had to solve this problem and shit. Same. Liz finished first. Like if that class was 180 days, Liz finished first like 178 times. You know what I'm saying? And I might have beat her 2 times. You know what I mean? Never got a higher score than her. Like even, look, she had finished first, like, yeah, that's because she fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Liz, in terms of, I never had a conversation with her, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what her comprehension was. But in terms of retention, you know, and I mean regurgitation, but you know, but in terms of that, very few people I've seen, you know what I'm saying? I remember this kid named Al, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, I had reached a point where I was just coasting in school. Really, I didn't reach that point. I had always been doing that, but it was like, I just stopped giving a fuck at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? So my thing was that, you know, I didn't even have to come to class, right? I could come to class, like I would have somebody tell me, like, yo, let me know when it's gonna be a test. So the 2 or 3 days before that test, I can come to class and get at least an 8. Just you know, with 2 days, I can get an 8, 85. You know what I mean? So I remember one day I come in, you know, and I do my usual thing and shit. So it's people that's impressed by that. Like, yo, son, how the fuck do you do that? Like, how do how do you skip every day, son, and get a better grade than me on the test, right? So, you know, I'm thinking I'm high powered. So we get the test back. And so I got my, you know, 80, 85 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? I did my thing. So Al gets his test back, throws the shit in the garbage, kicks the garbage can across the room and shit, right? And I'm like, yo, what happened, son? You failed? And then he said, nah, I got a fucking 98. Now what the fuck's wrong? It's like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, Al, stop lying, son. You ain't no 98. He's like, nah, I got a 98, man. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, wait, what? You got a nice, so look, I go over to the garbage can, get the test out. Al got a fucking 98. So shit happened again and shit. I come in, I get my grade and shit. Al wigs the fuck out. Got 97, some shit like that. So now I'm like, yo, man, the fuck is this nigga getting more getting high scores than me. Because I knew Al. Al was somebody I should hang out with. The girl Liz, I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? But so that's when I found out that, okay, Al is not cutting. Al is going to class. You know what I'm saying? So I started going to class and shit. Like, fuck you getting 98, Satan. You know what I'm saying? Like, now this is competition. You know what I'm saying? And Al was another one of them people, right? That, you know, yeah, I was impressed just with his intelligence and you know, just the speed. There was Sean, you know, Sean actually saved Sean life one time. You know what I mean? But another guy, man, that, you know, Sean shit over there in the corner and have all the motherfucking answers, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, then there's other people that I've met where it's like, nah, I don't see it. You know, like they might be well versed, you know, on a topic that you're interested in. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could be well versed on a particular topic that you're interested in. Like a person could be, you know, an expert. You know, a person could have played in the NBA, right? So you have knowledge of the sport and you can talk about it. You can be a commentator. You can break it down. But that don't mean I'm impressed with your full intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that was my experience with the Matrix. I never really was that intrigued to try to read their books and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never understood I don't even know what they really are, but I used to hear about it a lot. And I see that little what is it? AllahChrist. I'm not sure what it's called. I never really understood like separate from other people. Like people just saying that they had knowledge about shit.
Who? The Masons?
Yeah.
They see the Masons, right, is a mutual aid society. You know what I'm saying? And you got some mutual aid societies that is you know, kind of out in the open in public, you know what I'm saying? And you got other mutual aid societies that is secret. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, at the end of the day, you know, like I said, even having that experience with my grandmother, that's what it was about. That, you know, if you was in a situation, you know what I'm saying, that you could count on your Masonic brothers and sisters to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were somewhere and, you know, was strange to you or whatever, right? You had certain signs that you could throw, right? And that other people recognize that sign, like, oh, you know, you need help, you know, boom, 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 you know what I'm saying? And then so as that, it was effective. You see what I mean? And as, you know, what they applied it to in terms of promoting education and professionalism, right, amongst Black people. You know, when you look at the first people to achieve, you know, academically and professionally, they're going to tend to be Masonic people. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of stuff, man, listen, and you know, look, a lot of people start saying a lot of stuff after we start saying it. See what I'm saying? Like I see a brother say, yo, you know, Masons be saying they God. They was not teaching that shit. They was not teaching that. See, when look, some of the stuff the NOI said, they was not saying that. Like you could go up to an NOI now, right? And they ask you today's mathematics. When I got the knowledge, right? Supreme mathematics amongst everybody else. I don't give a fuck who they say they are. When I got the knowledge, every other nation was saying that supreme mathematics is what we use to twist everything around to mean what we want it to mean. Nobody was saying that you can't argue with supreme mathematics, God, when I got the knowledge. See, now you go to NOI, they building on today's math.
I thought they was doing it.
No. No.
I've seen it. I've seen it. In person.
First of all,
Yeah,
they got a mathematics, and they mathematics say wisdom, knowledge, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, and Islam. Their mathematics is not ours. They start using ours after we start using. And when you hear people, look, every conversation where people are speaking and it's slightly constructive, they all say we building.
Yeah.
We put that, if people wasn't saying that wasn't common parlance, at least around where I was. You know what I'm saying? You know, language is regional. So maybe in other regions they was saying that, but not around New York. You know what I'm saying? You know, people greeting each other with peace and all of that. I don't recall that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's the same kind of thing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I recall, you know, in terms of them saying that the G on their flag, right, was for God, just like the 7 on our flag is for God. You know what I mean? But who they was identifying as that G. See, I'm not like them. I'm not no little fucking G. Yeah, when I got the knowledge of 15, I was a little G, but I'm not no little G, and then there's some other big G floating up there in the sky. See, that's what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about that. But you said was Muslim sons Masons. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know that. Did you know that Warv Dean threw 120 lessons in the garbage?
Who?
Elijah Muhammad's son threw 120 lessons in the garbage. And the reason they got 120 lessons now, because they got it back from us.
Like what?
He wanted to go the Arab route. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, he didn't understand the message. You understand what I'm saying? This was a message about the black man, but what you call it is a message about Arabic customs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what he felt like the way we need to go further with this is to go further into the Arabic customs.
Is there an interpretation of 120 that like lines up with that, or that's just how he took it? Like you know how when you read the lessons,
Nah,
take
man.
it like
Nah, to me, you just religious. Like there's you know, like I said, there's things in there, right? Like you reading 120 lessons, right? You know, you reading Christianity, Islam, Black nationalism, self-help. You know what I'm saying? That there's different ideas that's in there. You know what I'm saying? Where he picked up on was the religious ideas. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, say, somebody else, which he wasn't around at that time, but somebody like Khalid, see, he picked up on the Black nationalism and the self-help. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, Warv Dean, his thing was, you know, he wanted to, you know, form an alliance with the Arabs, and that's what he did. But knowledge Allah said Warv Dean did throw 120 in the garbage. I come from the standpoint of understanding days long ago when it was Warv Dean against Farrakhan. Yeah, I recall that. You know, when I came in, it was Warv Dean, Farrakhan, and Silas was not, they wasn't clicking together. they wasn't. Yeah, exactly. Supreme Islam said, when I greet the NOI out here with peace, they say peace Muslim. And I definitely remember being outside my 75 here in Vegas and them hearing me call my educated God and told me we was God with a little G. Yeah, that's how religious people do. See, first of all, one thing ain't even a competition. It's not a competition. First of all, prove this big G exists. Like, how the fuck did we get back there? We already said that, the black man is, okay, we back at square one. Where's this big G? I ain't just talking about physical location. I'm talking about right now, while motherfuckers is dying from COVID, where the fuck you at, son? You at, son? All the shit is going on, motherfucking bombs blowing up and blowing half the baby's face off. Where the fuck you at? See, I'm not getting to heaven, and you asking me about what the fuck I did while I was here. You're not asking me no shit like that, and you haven't been in the pocket, Holmes.
Yeah, I wondered that a lot of times.
Yeah, that's not how we play. What the fuck are you talking about? Where the fuck was you at? See, that's what I'm saying. It's all that type of shit. Motherfuckers say, yo, man, God wouldn't give you no shit you can't handle. Saying you looked around over here, motherfuckers ain't making it. So I ain't, that kind of talking, to me, like I said, it just shows that you didn't understand the message. You understand what I mean? And just like with any message, yo, who's playing music? Just like with any message, you know what I'm saying? If you get the message, right, then you tell the person, all right, thanks. The person that sent me that message, they tell them I said peace. You see, if you didn't get the message, then you have to continue to ask the messenger questions. You see what I'm saying? Yo, who sent you that? What do you mean by this? You see what I'm saying? That's who's over there. That's who's over there still looking for Big G. Crazy talk, man. Sometimes you can't get involved with that. But we got the brothers here today. Man. They about to see what the progress is with their lessons.
Yeah, I just went through the 0 to 1 through 9 0, and I just looked up in the dictionary, and I just got like definitions straight out of the dictionary. And then they had like a bunch of words, and I kind of just wrote down.
We about to open up the medicine cabinet.
Interesting.
Medicine cabinet open. See what's going on there.
Yeah. It's actually straight out of the dictionary. Right.
I felt some kind of way when Colin Powell passed. I met him when I was in the service back in 89, 90. I mean, Colin Powell, it's a double-edged sword with him. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, at the end of the day, you're one of the many traders. You know what I'm saying? Like when they say, you know, we deal with the trader, right? You know, we could take it all the way back to who initiated it, right? You know, Henry the Navigator, right? But it's been many traders. You know what I mean? And so in these other countries, right? Colin Powell has been that trader. He's been the person that came and made an interorientation with these people, and at the end of that interorientation, they received nothing but bombs and bullets. So you know, it's, you know, look, from what I understand, Colin Powell's from New York. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, a New York brother, you know, as an original man, but, you know, even when, you know, we look at the field he in, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, well, how did you excel in a field like that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, with the atmosphere that you excelling in has to tell you something about you. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you excelling in the NFL, you know, it tells you probably, you know, at least a little bit athletic comparison to the general population. You see what I'm saying? So, but you know, in terms of just being an original man, that, you know, he accomplished certain things, and I'm sure he was an inspiration for some brothers and sisters out there. And, you know, just in terms of his family, you know, shout out to them. But you know, yeah, you know, he wasn't. And then see, plus me, I'm one of the people too, where if, you know, I be feeling phony. Like if I, like, see, for instance, you're not gonna look at none of my shit and see no you know, Kobe Bryant memorials. Because let's be clear, I don't like the Lakers. I never rooted for the Lakers. I was not a Kobe fan. You know, early in his career, I was Allen Iverson. You know, I thought Allen Iverson, you know, I like Allen Iverson better than him. You know, I was never, so I'm not gonna be putting all this stuff up, you know, because see, that can get embarrassing. When people be like, yo, son, remember when Kobe had that 81-point game? Yeah. Yo, listen, who remember they was playing against, who was that team they was playing against? Yeah, see, I don't know. Same shit with Nipsey Hussle. I never really listened to Nipsey Hussle's music, not because I thought it was this or that, but I didn't get around to listening to it. So I'm not gonna be, yo, shout Nipsey out, blah, blah, like that's funny. So now niggas be like, yo, son, yo, remember, yo, it could be Nipsey highest rated song. And niggas be like, yo, son, remember the first yo said it was rhyming, and the niggas saying the words, and I don't know the words. You see what I mean? That's phony. I'd rather just be real, like, yeah, man, you know, I keep it 100 with you, you know. Shout out to his family, you know what I mean? It's not nothing I want to hear happen, but, you know, I'm not going to, you know. And then you have people like that you got all this stuff for Kobe. 10 people in your family died since then. You ain't got not one shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but yeah, you know, Colin Powell's family, you know, and yeah, everybody, I appreciate it. Shout out to them. Do you see any positive changes in Black folks as a result of the Million Man March? Nah, I did think for about, I thought that for about a month and a half, there was good effects. See, I didn't attend the Million Man March, you know, and that, you know, I didn't understand what, you know, my thing was, look, I'm not a follower of Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really see, you know, like just everything that he was saying about it, the Day of Atonement. I'm like, the fuck am I atoning for? I can't, you know, it wasn't like, maybe if I was around somebody who was like, yo, I'm going, I might have went with them, but it wasn't on my agenda. You know what I'm saying? But what I can say is that when I got back, because when that was going on, I was in Florida. right? So when I got back to New York, I did notice a difference where I was off. I was like I'm being a regular New Yorker. So as I'm walking around, I'm noticing that brothers is saying peace to me, right? You know, people is just saying, "What's up, yo? How you doing?" Well, you know, people just talking to you a little bit extra for New York. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I was like, yo, man, I mean, trying to wind me up. It sounds like, why is everybody? You know what I'm saying? I can't feel. And then it hit me. Oh shit, yo, the Million Man March, like people is a little more, you know what I'm saying? But in the end, I think I think the immediate impact was good, but I think some things, just the way, like right now, you're saying in terms of the long-term impact, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I think the only long-term impact is that, yeah, these niggas talk a good game, but ain't nothing gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like there was never no concrete, there's nothing, like see, even what I'm saying, that's in my perception or whatever. You know what I mean? That can't really be measured. I can't really say, well, this many more people spoke to me and they was this much more friendly. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like with where you could say, well, to this day, the people in Selma, Alabama, Black people could ride wherever they want on the bus. You understand what I'm saying? That's demonstrable, how much you appreciate, riding on the bus wherever you want. That's different. But you can say that this what was accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really see nothing from it. And it was left in a way at the end where it was misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? It was so misunderstood that then all of a sudden the women felt that they needed a Million Women March. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't understood what it was really about. And, just, I didn't see it. I didn't, but, from my perspective, you know what I mean? Maybe some other people saw a whole lot of stuff happen. Yeah, right. Yeah, after the marches, yeah, just kind of got to business as usual. I wasn't really. What you said, Million Man was a beautiful day. Only time it was Black people on the highway, whites was vast majority. What you mean? The vast majority of people at the Million Man March was white? I asked a Muslim about it. He was like, that was the greatest reset. I'm like, man, dudes wasn't even using that term back then. Yeah, I mean, it was, and this was a whole other kind of like idea about it, you know what I'm saying? That was just out there, not saying I advocated or not, but that was an idea that was out there, was that it was kind of a culmination, right?
Peace.
It was, oh, white people was a vast minority. Yeah, I did. I was like, white people was a vast majority. I remember hearing that. But, oh yeah, white people was a vast minority. I didn't even know white people was out there at that one. So people say, it was a beautiful day, only time there was a lot of Black people and, felt good to be surrounded by Black people. But that's what I'm saying. See, I was getting that feeling from the rally. You understand what I mean? That same type of thing where, especially at that time, the 80s and the 90s in New York, to be in a room, you know what I'm saying, with all, and we're not just talking about Black people in general. We talking about the streets of Brownsville, you know, Fort Greene, South Bronx, Jamaica, Queen, you know, all places that, you know, we never would have got along. We all in here just saying peace to each other and building and dealing with supreme equality. You know, that was one of the things that impressed me about the 5%. You know what I'm saying? Just like that day I was talking about when my grandmother came down there in that parade with the Masons, I was building with the guys. That was the same day when the guy, he took me to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Back when Kentucky Fried Chicken was on 8th Avenue on the south side of the street. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's things like that where you could tell when people got the nod. Like if you remember when the KFC was over there, you know, if you remember when the Rally store was right across the street from the school, that was when I first came, it was where it's at now. Then that closed and it came here to the middle of the block, then it moved back over there. But just saying though, the important part of that story is we go to the Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? And we get the breast in the wing, right? But then we get the leg and the thigh. Whatever one we got, right? He gave me the big piece of chicken. So right then I knew, yo, these 5%, you cats all right. You see what I'm saying? That's, you know, positive influence, man. Shout out to positive influence, man. That's my brother to this day. I don't get to see him like I want to, but you know, that was one of the things that happened that showed me about supreme equality. That was the way brothers treated me when I first came around. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, when you see, you know, me dealing with equality, you know, yeah, it's really equality because I already received it. You see what I'm saying? But I can't pay those people back. You see what I'm saying? The knowledge and wisdom, they gave me the knowledge and wisdom. I can't get them back the knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, right. I got to deal with equality, how they say, pay it forward. You see what I'm saying?
I had a question. When building with other guys from like who got knowledge in other areas, the other one like got degrees aren't the same, or
Not everybody supposed to have the same degrees. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's of course, you know, there's different things that happen. And you get people that for whatever reason they get separated from their lessons, right? And then they got to write it over. You know what I'm saying? Now, when people had to write it over, right? You know, different people got varying levels of handwriting. You know what I'm saying? They got varying levels of spelling, you know what I'm saying, and vocabulary. So, you know, yeah, you might see some, but you know, if you just see a degree that says, you know, the black man is the devil, you know that's off. You know what I'm saying? But so, you know, there's, you know, like how we say, you know, one word, you know, is not, but you know, once you get to the point where whole phrases is missing, you know what I'm saying, or replaced, you know, then that's what you. But yeah, it was. I never ate the gravy. The yeah, mashed potatoes. Most mashed potatoes, the gravy had pig in it back in the days. Which I mean, most things had pig in it back in those times. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, if you ask me, that was another thing that the guys don't get credit for. You know what I'm saying? Before all the health shit about soy came out, we were standing in front of the store, you know. And I mean, depending on who the person was, like there's people that got Twinkies slapped out of their hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm saying, listen, I see the brother wait until he get the package open. You know what I'm saying? He take it, look, he got it like this. You know, so people just stop. People stop eating pig around us. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, you started seeing the hostess shelf started staying full, and the little Debbie's and the Drake shelf started flowing. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everywhere in the world, but in that corner of the universe where I was at, we had a lot to do with the next thing, what happened, look, one day, we go to the store, I'm standing outside the store, and the young guy walks in the store. He comes back out with some hostess shit. So as soon as he come out, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is you doing, man? Take that shit back in there. So he shows me the ingredients. And so all the shit where it used to be lard or whatever, now I said beef tallow. Yeah, we made them change that shit. Cause see, look, we wasn't just doing that. We was writing letters. Like dudes was writing to the company. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man. We kind of so a couple times we came to the rally. Brother had a printout. Yo, this came from the company right here. Like, listen, Wrigley's gum. I never forget Wrigley's gum. They was one of the first people. Like other people used to just be like, "Yeah, this shit got pig in it. What you asking for?" But they was the first people that was like, "Well, you know, look, you know, we use products, you know what I'm saying, whatever is cheapest or whatever we got access to, you know, so, you know, we can't guarantee that our products don't have pig. And so, yeah, so all the brothers stopped eating Wrigley's.
I didn't know it was in Twinkies.
I know, I didn't know.
Yes, look, I should be there. That's see. Now, when you're dealing with food, and this for everybody, right? When you're dealing with food, right? See, you got meal ingredients, right? Meal ingredients is rice, peas, chicken, onions. Those are meal. These are the ingredients that you put together to make a meal, but it's all separate shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you got food ingredients, right? Which is, you know, the all of the different chemicals and substances, plants, whatever, that they put to make something like gum. So I understood pig at first, right, as a food ingredient that, you know, ham, pork chop, bacon, this is swan. You know what I mean? But then when I got the knowledge they gave me, it was a printout, right? But it was like 3 or 4 pages stapled together, right? And it had all of the shit that was pig, that had pork ingredients, food ingredients, right? And yeah, that's when I found out that gum and soap and, you know, just all types of shit that I never would have put on the list. Like when I got the list, it was so long that I just put it to the side. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them things where it's like, all right, look, I know it was right. I'm gonna stick with that. Like I don't even understand all this shit. I can't yet. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's something now that a lot of people don't know, right? You got industrial ingredients. And industrial ingredients, right, is stuff that they use to make the food, right? But it's part of an industrial process. You see what I'm saying? It's not food. So what they're saying is that it's not in the food, so it's not on the packages. So for instance, right, you remember the thing with the pink slime?
Yeah.
The grade F meat, right? Now, with the grade F meat, right, they do all of the cuts that they're supposed to do, right? And then they got all of this waste shit that falls on the floor, right? Now, they pick that up off the floor and they soak it in like bleach and ammonia or some shit like that, right? And then they sell it to you. But when you never gonna buy no food that says it has bleach or ammonia in it, because the company is saying that's an industrial ingredient part of the process of making it, but we wash it off by the time we give it to you. You see what I'm saying? So there's other industrial ingredients, right? That's not on the Western. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, they may not be pig, but they are poisons. You understand what I mean? They're things that, you need this chemical to react with that other chemical. So now you could just be left with the white, whatever it is, the sugar or the flour. You understand what I'm saying? Those are industrial ingredients. So beware of those. Yeah, to clean the food, yeah, to clean the food and just prepare, like, a lot of things. It got some, some other thing where you just need to get that out. You know what I'm saying? So it could be, aluminum or some shit that they use, you know what I mean, which is poisonous, in your brain and shit, but
It's not listed at all. Like, you can't-
nah, they don't be listed. You know what I'm saying? Just like, for instance, in America, right? Which I guess is really the world over, but in America, right? Foods don't have to be labeled as GMO because they're saying that that's not a part of the food process, that we haven't made any changes to it. And so why should it have this extra label, right? But see, where you see the bullshit in the game, and where it's like, all right, y'all all down clearly, because here's the thing. How did you patent it then? And if you didn't do nothing to it to make it different, how did you patent it, and how can you sue people for having it, right, if you didn't do nothing different to it? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you like some of them African countries, we heard they kicked the white farmers out. That's what it really was about, is that if a GMO seed blows on your property, right, you gotta destroy your whole crop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the deal from Monsanto. If the GMO seed blows on your property, you gotta destroy your whole crop. So clearly, the advocates is like, yo, say, yeah, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go, son.
They just had a
Yeah. So you remember they had that thing where they was like, yo, they kicking all the white farmers out? That's at least part of what that was about.
They just had a big strike in India too with all the farmers.
Yeah, it's over there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True Divine, what's the deal? So we had a similar printout from my bean pie selling uncle. Oh, he had a printout. He had a printout with all the ingredients on it too. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you get that list, when you get that list of the stuff that you can't eat, like I said, for me, I just followed the lead of the brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, if the brothers was eating that, then, I stick with that. I wasn't a freestyler. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I see brothers to this day get in trouble. Not getting, I mean, they grown men, but I'm saying, I didn't really freestyle. I was monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? I was more, I had more of a child's mentality coming into this. You know what I'm saying? So I mimicked the people that was living how I felt I wanted to live. You understand what I mean? The brothers who was building, the brothers that when we come to the ciphers, you know what I'm saying? See, I come in the cipher and try to say as little as possible, in the first months. You know what I'm saying? But the brother who came in the cipher, man, is just like, yo, look, you can tell he been saving this up all day for us. You know what I'm saying? He's going in, he's style. See, so I was like, all right, that's how you do that. You see what I mean? You know, when I first came to the cipher, look, I seen brothers bombing, I seen brothers getting bombed. I made my decision that I wasn't gonna be the brothers getting bombed. You understand what I mean? So I stuck with, you know, sometimes why, you know, how they say, don't fix it if it ain't broke. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of people that, you know, they do the freestyling and, you know, you come back, yeah, I read this book, you know, that said that we all from the galaxy, fucking Alpha Cryon or whatever. You know, I never, I wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? I stick to the basics. So like Thursday had to call the company's headquarters yesterday to find out about the consumption of their coconut oil. Yeah, coconut oil, does anybody really know the deal on that? That appears to be kind of, the jury is out on coconut oil. I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Like but it's you know, you have some factions that say that it actually fights the negative effects of fat. You know what I'm saying? Then you have other factions that say, nah, it's fat. It's, you know what I mean? It's doing the same thing as the other fat. So, you know, we have some health experts, I guess, in the room. Maybe they could tell us. You know what I'm saying?
I read about coconut oil. It's you have to use the unrefined for one.
Right, the unrefined. Yeah, exactly. All these things.
And then supposedly it has properties of like antimicrobial or anti
Right.
this, you know, it can cure certain things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I know it's good. You know, sometimes I use it just as lotion.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's cool stuff. You know what I mean? But I like it. You know, I put, you know, sometimes even a dab in my rice. If I'm making rice or something, or you know, different foods that I'm making, I like the just the taste of it. And it you know, other oils when they burn, you know, they kind of burn up or something. I don't know. You know, coconut oil is good. In fact, UK doesn't even allow GMO. Yeah, a lot of Europeans, I think in the whole European Union, GMO is banned. Right, 793rd said like the healthy heart label on junk and toxic foods. Yeah, that's, you know. Oh, if Mega has a list. He said you don't like eating coconut oil because it coagulates. What you said here, 793rd, you read a website. You read a lot of websites and none could actually tell me if the organic unrefined was consumable. A few back, the whole industry tried to act like it was poison, kind of find out what I said above. According to the young lady, only cook and eat the edible one on the label. So on the label, it says it's edible. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've only bought coconut oil from the supermarket, so I pretty much assumed that it was all edible. Sometimes you gotta watch what you assume. Who, Leasia? You talking about absolute intelligence? Where can you find the official list? I saw it once and it's very. Now that's one of them things. That's one of them things like the Asiatic county. You know what I'm saying? Where you're gonna have to compile your own list. Because see, like even right now, right? If I was to give you that list that I got, right? Everything on that list that was pigged then is not pigged now. You know what I'm saying? It's a work in progress. You know what I mean? And then there's some things, right, that we find out it's not pigged, but shit, it might as well be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna, if it got like a half an ounce of lead in it, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? It's still fucking you up. So that's the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the queens right now, the names that are being chosen. Absolute intelligence. Just, for real. Like that's absolute intelligence. Right. But at any rate, let's get into the teaching part because y'all about to take me all the way down the rabbit hole over here as we going. So let's get back.
Ryan.
So yeah, Ryan, you got what you came up with.
I went through the dictionary and I got just definitions and a little bit of etymology for 1 through 9 and 0. I can read from the list if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, one for knowledge, we got recognize something being indicated, admit, confess truth of, admit status, claim authority of, fact or condition of being cognizant, conscious, or aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Next set for wisdom. So this is an interesting definition. I got this straight from the dictionary, and it says effectual mediating principle or personification of God's will in the creation of the world.
Say it again?
I got that from the dictionary.
It says what?
It's just so crazy.
Yeah, it said if mediating principle or personification of God's will in the creation of the world was one of the dictionary things I found. Another one was accumulated information, philosophic or scientific learning, accumulated lore, instinctive adaptation, intelligent application of learning.
Mm.
Couldn't that be where some information comes from?
Yeah.
Science to apply something else. So
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it's saying the activation, right, of all the ideas. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
if it say, for instance, everything is created in an image, right? Meaning a clear mental picture that you have in your mind of what it is that you created. You know what I'm saying? So the actual putting that into activation, right, is the wisdom. You know what I mean? And, and being able to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm trying to make dinner, right? I got a hammer, but I don't need this for this. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing that, okay, out of these tools that I got the fork, I got the knife, I got the hammer.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You got the tools is one.
Yeah,
right?
all of that is a part of the wisdom. Like, yeah, you know how to cook the food and you know what all this stuff is, but you have to have the intelligent application of it, like I said. You see what I mean?
So is that why that's 2? And then like the knowledge is 1, where the knowledge is just like the individual ingredients or the tools, and then like the wisdom, like, you know, that's the application of it, intelligent application of those tools. Is that why that's 2? And then
Precisely.
so number 3, I got another interesting one here. Understanding, grasp meaning of, comprehend, grasp reasonable or logical character of thorough or technical explanation, interpret or explain successfully to oneself. And here's an interesting one that I saw. It says to accept without utter certainty. So you're accepting without utter certainty. That's understanding, is you don't have certainty. Because like you ever heard someone say like, well, my understanding is this, and that means they don't really know exactly, but they understand to a certain level.
That's not really understanding. You know, it's that type of thing. It doesn't coincide with comprehension. Yes, I mean comprehension. Understanding is.
Well, you ever heard that saying like those who are wise will say they don't know?
Right.
You ever heard that? I figure maybe that would apply there, you know, to say to accept without utter certainty is to have that wisdom of saying, maybe I don't know for sure, but this is why I'm accepting.
Well, yeah. See, with that saying, that's a little bit more, right? When you start to leave understanding and you get to kind of perspective, and you know, then you that starts to get dangerous, because then you start to get into those confirmation biases and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But there is things that you would say, well, somebody might ask me about something. Like for instance, when earlier, right, we was talking about the vaccines. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm like, well, you know, look, the way I understand it, before you get injected with something, you know, somebody should be, you know, giving you some tests, you know, your blood pressure, your temperature, asking you about your family medical history or something. But I don't know, I'm not in the medical field. You see what I mean? That's not real understanding. You know what I mean?
That's not a completion.
It's like you kind of basing that on the lack of knowledge, right? But wisdom. You see what I mean? Meaning I don't know, but my common sense tells me to see it this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are things like, for instance, right? Data, right? Information is not knowledge. You see what I mean? Because data and information can be wrong. You see what I mean? You got misinformation, disinformation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Knowledge, see, it necessarily has to be able to be intelligently applied, right? And it necessarily has to have understanding that's born alive from it. You know what I mean? Meaning, like we were saying, okay, the way I understand it based on the lack of knowledge, right? But then I might get to a place where they say, no, this is the protocol right here. You see what I mean? So now, you know, my understanding has been destroyed. It was born dead. You understand what I mean? When it came into the cipher, it didn't have life. You understand what I mean? And then it continued to add on. You know what I'm saying? It was destroyed. So, you know, this is when we start to get into, and that's why it's good to deal with the etymology, right? Because when you deal with these, you know, languages is kind of, you know, walking and talking, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that they changing constantly, you know what I mean? So the usage, you know what I'm saying, of how we use these words, a lot of times you'll see they start to move away from the actual roots and the etymology of the word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely picked that shit up. Like more and more times I was coming in, I started realizing how particular I am about like words that I use. And like even when people like try to say, you know, you can be speaking to somebody and they'll try to like paraphrase what you say, but it's not what you say. It's like, yeah, like I'm just
Yeah.
I realize I'm real particular about the word itself because I started looking at definitions and shit like that.
Mhm.
I'm realizing you taking the definition away from the actual word and just using like the connotation or like what goes with it.
Yeah.
It's just like it takes away from you completely.
Yeah, and then it started to get like telephone and word association.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Where, you know, you associated this word with this idea, but then this idea is associated with that idea. So
Yeah.
now the word starts to move over to be that too. You understand what I'm saying?
People can take something you said and just by using a similar word instead of the same word, they can change completely what you said and make you look like a completely different person.
Yeah. You see what I mean? That's why we have the concept, right, of right and exact. You see what I mean? Because it's like I got this screw, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I need to put this screw in right here to secure this thing, right? So the person brings me a screwdriver, but they bring me a flathead screwdriver. And what I need is a Phillips screwdriver. You see what I'm saying? So that was right, but it wasn't exact.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why we have that concept, right? Where that's when you're dealing with the knowledge and the wisdom. See, that's very an important thing, right? You gotta think, right, about wisdom and how you know, it's kind of two aspects of wisdom, right? Where, see, thinking is an action. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people, you can only, the way you can really tell thinking is an action is when people don't think. You see what I'm saying? Then you realize, nah, see, before you did what you did, it was something else you were supposed to do. You were supposed to think. You understand what I'm saying? Is people do stupid shit, you be like, damn, son, you skipped a step. You know what I mean? But you gotta think. Thinking is a physical component to it. You know, synapses and shit got to move in your physical head. You see what I'm saying? You know, the knowledge that you've retained is, you know, is you know, it can be measured when you thinking. They can put you in the MRI machine and say, yeah, we can tell you thinking. And you know what they say, they can even tell what you're thinking about to some degree. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, make sure you keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? As in terms of you know, with the application, right, of the knowledge that you have, you know, this is like a step before you get into the action. You know what I'm saying? Is you gotta sit there and think about it because, like I said, you know, when you're dealing with right and exact, it's all different variables, right? Meaning, it could be the timing. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that things that brothers was doing in the nation in the 60s, right, may not necessarily be the same thing brothers doing in the 70s, may not be the same thing brothers doing in the 80s, 90s, or right now, right? But that's not necessarily based on brothers just wanting to change that. You understand what I mean? It could be based on, yeah, the environment has changed. You see what I'm saying? And so if we don't apply this knowledge in a particular way where it's exact to each situation, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you apply, just like when you teaching, you know what I'm saying? If you're teaching a man, you might use different language. If you're teaching a woman, you might use different language if you're teaching a child. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, you could say, yo, you know, this baby, this infant 9-month-old baby is starving and I want to do the right thing and feed this baby, right? But then you come with sirloin steak. You understand what I mean? What you did was right. It was righteous. Listen, you know, you're going to get into heaven doing shit like that. But it wasn't exact. It was, you understand what I mean? The baby's still going to die. You understand what I mean? Your intention was marvelous.
Yeah. I got a question too. I saw on Instagram or something, I saw a picture where it was like, it was man, woman, child, and man was one, woman was 2 and the child was 3, and it said knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering what that means, and then how does that relate to 6 equality, with 1 + 2 + 3 is 6?
Well, 1 + 2 + 3 is 6. That's pretty cut and dry. But see, when you deal with the supreme mathematics, right? The supreme mathematics is the basic principles of the universe, right? But principles are manifested, you know what I'm saying, through different actions, different ideas, and different entities of people. You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
like that kind of represents like the basic is like 1, 2, and 3 is like the beginning. So that's like man, woman, child.
It's man, woman, and child, but I'm saying it's also like this what I'm saying is that one, right, is the foundational principle, right? So what that means is whatever you dealing with, right, that is when you identify what the foundation of it is, that thing is the knowledge. And through that principle, right, of knowledge, right, it's like, for instance, right, you probably also, so you've seen man, woman, and child, you've seen sun, moon, and star.
I haven't seen that yet.
Well, we also say sun, moon, and star, right? Now, here's the thing, right? The sun, right, and man may appear to be unrelated. It's like 2 different things, right? But see, through the principle of knowledge, we see they're the same. You understand what I mean? Like, in geometry, when you deal with the proofs and the theorems and stuff, you see what I mean? Where it's like you got this triangle that's big and this triangle that's small. But through the principles of what a triangle is, right, you can prove that these things is the same thing. You see what I mean? So, for instance, if you're talking about even building a building, right, that foundation that they pour, that's the first thing they got to do. That's the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you're doing music, you know what I'm saying? The notes, you know what I'm saying? The frequency that is a note,
Yeah.
that's the foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's where the chords is built from. That's what you do the rhythms with. You understand what I'm saying? So in anything that you're dealing with, right? That's what you're going to start to learn when you start to get into the lessons, right? As you get into the lessons, now you're going to be identifying what is the foundation, what is the application, what is the outcome, right, of all these different situations that's in the lessons, right? And then through practicing it, seeing it in the lessons, right, you're going to be able to see it in your endeavors of the things what's going on around you. You see what I mean? And then you would be able, once you start to see it, then you could gain command over it. You see what I mean? Meaning that, okay, I can first observe, right, what the principle of knowledge is, right? And I can know what it is, but see, then after that, I can begin to predict my history, right? So then I know that, okay, when I get to that place, right, what I gotta do to be the knowledge over there, because I'm not gonna be the wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? See, now you gaining control of this. You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, like you said, in the family, right, when you're dealing with man, woman, and child, right? See, once you know you the foundation, you like, okay, now how I'm gonna activate in this situation, right, to be the foundation that's holding this thing up, like the building. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, okay, you got the foundation, right? Then you got the 4 walls and the roof. See, that's the wisdom, that's the manifestation of the building, right? Then you got the space on the inside where the people go in there and live. That's the best part. That's the understanding. Whatever you could go in there and do and enjoy and build, right? That's the best part. You see what I'm saying? So just the way you identify that in every situation you go in, right? That's what you're looking for. You see what I'm saying? Because see, if you can figure out the knowledge, if you know what the signs of the foundation, then
everything's built on.
yeah. You see what I mean? It's like with music, if once you understand the note, I can talk to you. I can't really even start talking to you a lot.
For music, I think it's the foundation rhythm.
Well, yeah, actually, well, rhythm was before everything else.
That's what I'm saying.
And
that's why it's
yeah.
foundation.
Yeah, rhythm is the most important thing. Like if you playing in rhythm and you play the wrong note, it'll still come on. Like it won't sound that bad. But if you play the right shit with no rhythm, yeah, it just sound all fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? But rhythm and timing to me is a little more, you know, it's not as concrete, you know what I'm saying? And it's a little more dependent on the person, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the note, you know what I'm saying, is an objective thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I do agree with you on that rhythm is at the foundation of music.
So you want to hear the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next one would be culture or freedom. So I did both of them. Like for culture, I found that cultus or coller is the root word, which is cultivate or till, to till the soil. So culture is rooted in tilling the soil, and then it's an act of developing by education, discipline, social experience, training, or refining the moral or intellectual facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have for that. Freedom. Quality of not being coerced or restrained. And then it was interesting, it said by fate, which is an example in the dictionary. It wasn't not part of the definition, but
Which dictionary is this?
this was the Central Library in Brooklyn. I just went up to the religion section. They just had a regular dictionary. It wasn't a religious dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
It was a regular big dictionary, and they had it just open.
You don't remember the name of it? Well,
I can go back there. I go back all the time. I can read it. But it said necessity or circumstances in one's choices or actions. Status of will as uncaused cause of human action. So it's like the will is the moment of action. That's freedom. Self-realization or spiritual self-fulfillment that is not incompatible with the existence of natural causes of the will. Self-determination, exemption or liberation from slavery or imprisonment.
mm-hmm.
So I have that.
With the freedom thing, like it's like it was talking about not being held down by faith. When I was in school, I learned like the history of faith or like where faith comes from. And, like when it comes to like Greek mythology and shit like that, there was like three sisters.
Yeah.
And there's a person that like spins the web. Well, basically they just know what you're gonna do, when you're gonna be born, when you're gonna die, how you're gonna die, and everything's like drawn out for you. And like throughout Greek mythology, like a whole bunch of stories. Like, it's just a whole bunch of characters who are trying to fight against fate instead of realizing like it's meant to happen. Whereas for that, I just feel like something being actually aware of yourself or aware of what's going on is what actually frees you from being a slave to fate. So instead of fighting against it.
Yeah, that's very, that's really true. It's really true. It's like when you come into that understanding of who you are, it's like you no longer have a need to fight.
Yeah.
Like you're just free. You're free in yourself.
Yeah, like you can't. It's like fighting that inevitable. You can't really fight that inevitable. But when you realize it's inevitable and what you can do, like in the meantime, like as far as like getting to that point, it's like that's the freedom in yourself.
See what y'all doing right now? See, this is building. See, that's each one teach one. You see what I'm saying? That's what, like I said, the math, you want to start using it, right? It just start coming. So you got power, right?
Oh, you know what? I skipped that on accident. I got home and I realized I skipped power.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do 5. Do you want to say anything about 5?
Well, you know, what you can look at it from the perspective, you know what I'm saying? Get your own definition,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But just from the perspective, right, that see power, right, is directed energy. You know what I'm saying? Just like we got electricity all around us, but you can't plug your phone in all around. You know what I mean? In the socket is focus.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So by the same token, just like we were saying with wisdom, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the ways that you focus your knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So that it actually has an impact on the situation and the circumstances around you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But get your definition.
Okay. So equality. Some of the root words are it's AEQUAL, equal, ITOT. Those are like some of the roots, and then it's just I just have state of being equal, sameness, or equivalence in number, quantity or measure, power or degree, uniformity. That's why.
Mhm.
7 is pretty interesting. Hey, for God. This is straight out of the dictionary. It says supreme or ultimate realities. That's how they started it. And then it goes to say deity variously conceived in theology as the holy, infinite, and eternal spiritual reality presented in Bible as creator, sustainer, judge, righteous, sovereign, and redeemer of the universe.
Mhm.
Acts with power in history as carrying out purpose, eternal, invisible, arbitrary, compassionate, merciful, unchangeable, unchangeably perfect. But I think it's very interesting that it started as supreme or ultimate reality, not not like a being, but a reality.
You see, that's a science that you know, when you're dealing with that word, right, there's all those aspects to it, right? So you got just the etymology of the word, right, which is a German word, right? You got the history of the idea, right, of there being a creator, of there being powers and forces that is not visible to the naked eye, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you have just the way we've come to know you know, the word God and the concept of God from the religious aspect. You understand what I mean? Because those is the, you know, that's what happens, right? Over time. You see, right now you're reading the dictionary, right? The dictionary is written by, you know, people of whatever mindset, whether they Christian, whether they Muslims, whether they tall, whether they short, whether they speak Arabic, whether they speak French, you know, it's all written from a certain mindset, you know what I mean, a certain worldview.
Yeah.
And then see, when you come into the 5%, right, you get a worldview, right, that the foundation of that mindset, right, at least it being formulated and given to us, that's what we call Allah. That's the Father. You understand what I'm saying? That he's the one who you know, gave, see, because we was children. The people he was dealing with was children, and then it continued to be children. So you know, once you have that mindset, right? Now, when you say God, right, what do you mean? You see what I'm saying? We mean the black man. You see what I mean? As opposed to when you talking to, you know, Jehovah's Witness come to your house, right? And they say God, they mean something else.
Mm.
See, so that's another thing that happens when you first come into the lessons. You see what I mean? Also, you know, that's one of the jobs of the first lesson when you get into 120, right? When you get in 120 lessons, because for instance, you know, in America, we call the minority, right? But you get into the lessons in the 1 to 10, and it tells you that, nah, that's just in America. See, a lot of you're not thinking like that, at 13, 14, 15. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at TV, you see mostly white people, and, as soon as you leave the neighborhood, you get like downtown Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, so, and they telling you this, that you're a minority. You see what I mean? But then you get into the lessons and tell you, nah, we really outnumber them 11-1. You understand what I'm saying? Then that's, so your mindset and your worldview begins to change. You see what I'm saying? The things that you are attracted to, you know what I'm saying? It's like with anything else, you know what I mean? You might like doing something and people tell you like, oh, snap. Nah, son, that's doo-doo that they rub on there right there. You know what I'm saying? You be like, nah, son, I like playing with this shit over here. Like, nah, son, that's doo-doo they rub on there. See, now you don't like it no more. You see what I'm saying? Because your mindset towards it has changed. So even certain things, you might have liked this thing or didn't like this thing. You see what I mean? But now that you have the knowledge, you're like, oh, snap, that look dope. Where before that, you wouldn't even notice that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Smelling good. So we got Bill, right?
Build, I got the root words. I have bowl or abode, buan, to dwell. The definition, I have constructing a dwelling formed by ordering and uniting materials by gradual means into composite whole. Say that one more time. Formed by ordering and uniting materials by gradual means into composite whole.
Mm-hmm.
Caused to be constructed, fashioned according to systemic plan.
See, what that's telling you, man, is that building, see, you go out there, right, and just throw a whole bunch of boys around.
Yeah, there's an order to
Yeah,
it.
that's right. It's an order to it. You understand what I'm saying? See, destroying, you can send any fools in there with a hammer.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's like chaos.
All right.
It's chaos.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
Destroy.
See, even like when we talking, we having these discussions, right? If you get to the point, right, where it's like, I say if I'm speaking to somebody, right, that had knowledge the same amount of time I had, and they know what I know, and we just going back and forth, that's not really building. You see what I'm saying? See, what we're doing right now is building, you see what I mean? Because people is gaining something, you see what I mean? There's something that you can say is tangible. Yeah, y'all got these papers now. You understand what I mean? Where y'all wrote stuff down, that's tangible.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So to destroy, I got ruin the structure, organic existence, or condition of spread out or scatter, raise or demolish, injure, mutilate, defeat, or discredit fully. Born. The root words I have, one is E-born, is like a Y before born, like Y-born, E-born or something. Borin, boron, giboron. It means to bear or carry, brought forth by having origin from, deriving or resulting from.
Mm-hmm. And so, see, that's why we say born means to be complete. You see what I'm saying? Because when you say it's born, it's what's born is derived from the idea where it started from, right? So now that idea, right, is the knowledge. You see what I'm saying?
So it's a completion of knowledge.
It's a completion of that original idea. You understand what I'm saying? That's born. No, it's born, exactly.
And cipher is 0. It does actually mean 0 by definition, cipher.
Mm-hmm.
denoting absence of all magnitude or quantity, method of transforming a text in order to conceal its meaning, replacing letters or plain text into code, figures in mathematical process, a device or monogram, figure out by calculation.
Yeah. So see, whenever that idea, right, is completed, right, what comes from that is a cipher. The cipher is the tangible thing that's there to show that the knowledge went to born. You see what I'm saying? And so all of the order, right, that was put into you building it up, that's the code of that cipher. You understand what I mean? So when you come in, see, like right now, you come in here, right? I'm giving you the code to this cipher. You see what I mean? Where, like how they say, we're more familiar with the term decipher,
Right.
which means to decode.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So in any, when you get there, you like, yo, what's going on here? Like I said, yo, what's the foundation of this here? What's going on? Who's the boss? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are getting into that code, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, find, quality, God, will destroy, born, that forms that cipher.
So the cipher is actually encompassing all the degrees of 1 through 0 for 9 because it's a code. So it's like
It's showing, well, it's a placeholder, right? That shows that everything is going from knowledge to born. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when we say after you go from knowledge to born, right, then your knowledge adds a cipher, right? And then that shows that, yeah, the knowledge went through the whole cipher of building up that code. You see what I'm saying?
So in your example of when we talk about 1, 2, and 3 for the house, what is the house? And wisdom would be 4 walls and the roof. And then the inside is like understanding. So would cipher be the whole thing in its entirety? Like the foundation, the walls, what goes on inside, people that's going, stuff like that, or not?
I mean, the cipher represents that. But see, the reason why you can't say that the cipher is all that is because, see, the 1 through 9 can exist without the cipher, right? But the cipher can't exist without 1. You see what I mean? Like, see, what we say is the cipher is a person, place, or thing, right? So all of these, we can see that there's a certain code to all these things. Like a table, there's a certain code to that, where we don't call everything a table. It has 4 legs, it has the flat part up here. You understand what I'm saying? So we can look at it, but this entails everything that came from the idea of it. You see what I'm saying? So being that it's a person, place, or thing, that's why it's a very fine line, right? That the cipher that we deal with is not 0. You know
it's
what I mean?
not 0.
Because nothing actually doesn't exist.
So wait, cipher is not 0? Even
No.
though it's
See,
0?
like I said, well, I don't know if I told you that. You got to look up the history of the Hindu numbers, right? And then see, in the history of it, 0 is not actually a number. It didn't start out as a number. It became a number over time for the purpose of calculations.
I see. It's just a placeholder. Huh?
Yeah, but it's nothing. It's like there's no year 0. Yes, I mean, you can never be 0 years old. Right. Yes, I mean, if you have $0, you don't have any dollars. You have no dollars. The dollars don't exist. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So, we don't actually have the concept of 0 in supreme mathematics.
Okay. So would you say that, like, how you're on your phone and you got all the little icons and one is a Word document, or you got each one is a program, right? Each one of those buttons on your phone is a program, like an app.
Yeah.
in each one of those apps, they had to have the idea for it. They had to have the understanding of how to make it, and then they had what would it do. And then when it's all said and done, it's just a little square button on your phone, and that button is like the placeholder for all that information.
Right. Yeah. That thing comes on your phone,
Yeah.
right? That represents, like you said, all that work from the idea, all those people. That button shows that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like this is sort of maybe unrelated, but I feel like you know, in society in the past, you know, 20 years or so, is gravitated towards that, having access to all these buttons. You know, they got all the icons, but people have no understanding of the code or maybe some do, but like the average person is just pressing those buttons and they just see the icons. They don't really think deeply about it. You know, whereas like if you go back to people using a computer in the 80s and 90s, they had to go and punch in everything, you know, and type in.
Yeah, the programming shit.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, people are they're being taught to only see that, like only see the placeholder. They only see the cardboard cutout, the image of things. Like on Instagram, they only see the image. They don't see everything behind it. And we're being taught this like image only society where we only see images of things. We aren't really allowed to go deeper, where like the mass majorities doesn't really go deeper. They're being taught not to.
See, y'all two might be all right, man. You starting to get the hang of this. See, that's called the 85%.
What's the? Oh yeah.
That's when you start to get the hang of this, my man.
I know what.
Listen, see, like you see, they've been taught to take things on face value.
Yeah.
For the 10%.
Right.
Is that the same thing as far as like when you say you build it, they call that a cipher as well too, right?
Well, now that is something now as you go in your travels now, right? People have adjusted the usage, right? Meaning, right now.
I know cipher is something different, but it's like.
But this how it was, right? See now, right? If I'm talking like I'm talking to y'all, right? People will say that what I said to y'all was my build, right? Meaning that I was building, I was speaking, you know, we was constructing ideas and concepts or whatever that equal something, right? But see, when I got to knowledge, right? What I said to y'all was my wisdom. That was what I said. That's, you know, the wisdom is the word. That's how we used to say it. And now, when all of us, what we say, right, this group of us, right, we had a cipher. Yes, I mean, where we were the elements and our ideas and our words was the elements of the code of that cipher. You see what I mean? So a person coming and trying to understand this conversation, right, they would have to go through us, right? And who we are, what our ideas is, and what we said. You see what I'm saying? So we had a cipher.
It's clicking.
Yeah, that's how I see it. That's like I said, it's not a thing where, you know, it's you the chef. You the chef. This is all just raw food I'm getting. You see what I'm saying? And over time, from cooking, right, you're gonna see certain things. Like, I don't like the fire that high, I don't like the outside crispy like that. You understand what I'm saying? Or you might be the other way. You might be like, yeah, nah, the shit too. I like my shit crispy, son. With a little, you know what I'm saying? A little char on it. You see what I'm saying? These is all the things. So that's why you got to get your own mathematics. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to put a char on it that I might don't put that on mine. You see what I'm saying? But all of this, whatever, you know, you see and the things you start to see, you know what I mean? See, that's why go to dictionary, get it. See what I mean? Because you fuck around, confuse yourself trying to figure out how I mean what I mean. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
When, nah, that's not the science. You know what I mean? This is not the science where, you know, you go to that preacher right there and that's what that preacher teaches.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not the preacher. That's why you got to learn all this on cap. You see what I mean? Because, you know, this can't go 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. You got to go out. And you understand what I'm saying? See, the preacher, he trying to keep you there. But see, y'all ain't paying me. You see what I'm saying? If I was collecting dues, you see what I'm saying? You know, if I was the preacher, I probably want, you know, keep my retirement plan intact too. You see what I'm saying? But the way we doing, nah, I hit you off with the jump off, right? Then you got to go teach your people. You know what I mean? Whoever's the people that's like you, that identify with what you identify, that have same or similar experiences, right? Where you can help them to understand the codes of the things that they going through. That's the people you go to teach. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't see me out in the valley, you know, trying to teach motherfuckers to live that life. You understand what I'm saying? People who come around here, you from around here, y'all have been through all this shit here. You understand what I'm saying? So I could drop a jewel, I could tell you, yo, you know the thing y'all doing? You know how that started, right? See, I can't, you understand what I mean? Now you building, people is growing. You see what I mean? Now you dealing with life. Like when I first got to school, that's what they told me. The first definition of life is if it grows, it's alive. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we call this life and substance, what we deal with. But so yeah, you got so we use that.
I mean, the last thing you gave me wasn't. I was gonna ask you about that.
All right.
It was as far as like when they said that he's gonna rule for 6,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Has that taken place?
Interesting question. It's one of those things where you know, like I said, see, 5 or 6, we get into the details.
Yeah.
So it says, look, in one lesson, it says rule for 6,000 years, right? In another lesson, it says last for 6,000 years, right? Now, officially, they're over the limit by good 100-some years now. I can't even recall. The 6,000 years was up in 1914. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you go by last for 6,000 years, right? Then 6,000 years up in 1914. But if you go by rule for 6,000 years, right? They've really only been ruling for the last 2,000 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, at least around where we at, they haven't been coming, you know, that started with, you know, sometime, and then you can't, even that wasn't ruling, you know what I'm saying? But you got what they call the fall of ancient civilization. You know what I'm saying? In 1100 BC, right? All the civilizations that was around at that time was destroyed except for Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And so those different, those ancient like Sumerians and you know, any original people that was all around in that area, Asia Minor, you know, what they call the Middle East now, you know what I'm saying? That all of those civilizations fell and only Egypt lasted. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's one of the reasons that we hear about Egypt. The other reason that we hear, or one of the other reasons that we hear about Egypt, right, is because white people can place themselves in Egypt. Like that's why, You know, just like Napoleon, he overblew a lot of his enemies because it made him look more heroic. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't tell people, yeah, I went over there, yeah, we killed some cats. They had like fucking farm tools and shit. they had like shovels and shit. You know, we had guns, so we took them out. See, he's not saying that. He's saying if we went over there, the enemy was fierce. And he was dug in like this, because now I push you in a certain place. You see what I'm saying?
That's similar to our conversation when we was talking about, I think it was back when everything was like still fresh about Afghanistan as far as like troops out. And how they dressed it up real nice, like, yeah, we need to go here.
Yeah.
Because they have this.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You got to say these people as terrorists. You know, you can't say, you know, these some cats with a couple rocks, you know, they throw it. You know, they don't like police. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say that. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to say, yeah, these motherfuckers, man, yo, they over there, they doing this. They got these cells, man. They could blow up any minute. Yo, who's that cat? Yo, we caught somebody on 42nd Street, man. He's down with the. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, yeah, you can't just say, you know, you know, that these people is just there, just saying, look, get off my property. You know what I'm saying?
And the story is like, when it speaks about the magnets, well, the pieces of steel, and how one has a magnet, the other doesn't. When you know how magnets like come together, well, if they have that sort of like pull, you know what I'm saying? So would that be the 5% in a sense, like pulling together?
Say it again.
So you know how we're dealing with magnets, there's like a sort of attraction when it comes to the poles, like North and South Pole, they stay together. But it said that he had two pieces of steel, one had a magnet, one didn't. So I'm under the assumption that they just didn't connect. So building a nation of the two, with the one with the magnet, in a sense, represent the 5%, whereas the ones without the magnet aren't connected and aren't coming together. So would that represent? What would that represent?
Well, you drew that up right there. You know, that's, see, but now it's like we said last week, right? There's different forms, right, of attraction, right? From gravity to electromagnetism. You see what I'm saying? You have forms where like attracts to like, you know what I'm saying? And you have forms where opposites attract to each other. You know what I'm saying? And we have all different you know, circumstances, substances, right? And as it pertains to that degree, people that are magnets. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, you have these, you know, in, let's say in different situations, right? You have these cool people, right? The pieces of steel with the magnetic. You know what I'm saying? And you have these people over here that's on the outskirts, you know, they're the pieces of steel without the magnetic that's attracted to the pieces of steel with the magnetic, right? Now, depending on the mentalities of these people, right? And how they interact, that can make, you know, righteousness or devilishment. You see what I'm saying? And what really gets messed up, right? When you take it to the level of wisdom knowledge, right? Is when these two people don't realize what's the real magnet.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now shit starts to go left. You see what I mean? Now, as it pertains to that story, right? The pieces of steel he was experimenting with was man and woman. You see what I'm saying? And so not understanding what was the real piece of steel with the magnetic, right? Shit started getting fucked up. See, that's why I try to explain to y'all what the Bible really is about. You know what I'm saying? You know, people keep thinking, people keep saying, I'm not making it sound like that. King James and Constantine made it sound like that. You know, but you know, yeah, there's other signs, you know, complete brought up a signs too, that, like I said, it applies in different ways, right? See, this is another way, like, because when you first started saying, that's what the first thing it made me think of too, what complete is talking about right here. See, another way that it manifests, right? That you see, that's what I'm saying. See, these are principles, right? And then I'm applying them to life things, right? So, you know, you have the paperclip in the magnet, right? So the magnet, right? This is the person that's the real deal, right? The paperclip is the person who has attractive power as long as he's touching the magnet. You see what I'm saying? Now, like you said though, as soon as he loses contact with the magnet, then his power starts to dissipate. You understand what I'm saying? See, this is people that you see out there in real life too. You see what I mean? Well, you're not the man. You just the nigga running your mouth about the man. But you don't really have the power. See, that's what'll happen to you if you don't study your lesson. See, the first day when you leave here, right, you'd be like, yeah, God was going on this, and this. But see, because you didn't study it and internalize it yourself, in 3 days, somebody gonna say, oh, what was that stuff you was building on again? You be like, yo, we gotta go back and ask the God. We gotta go back and touch the magnet. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another thing was telling you that that's what y'all doing right now. You building up your magnetic power, right? Because like we were saying with building, right? This is organized effort.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at a magnet, right? That's the difference between a magnet and the other piece is the magnet, all the atoms and shit, the shit is organized.
Yeah.
Where all the positive is on one pole and all the negative is on one pole. You know what I'm saying? If the shit get all like that, then it loses magnetic. If it loses that orderly you know, construct that it's in. But that's what that degree is about, right? Learning the different things. And like we were saying, like, you know, once you reach that age, you know, 2 and 2 is 4, right? You got certain freedom, right? That you didn't have before, right? So now, what's the piece of steel with the magnetic? You know what I'm saying? Are you out there manifesting your ideas, right? And attracting the circumstances and situations and people that you need to build, right? Or are you out there getting caught up, you know what I'm saying? Following shit that is not, these niggas is paper clips. You know what I'm saying? In 2 years, nobody's gonna remember that they did that. But you on the fucking, you know, TikTok dancing with the nigga or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But so you know, we had a good class, you know what I'm saying? Added on. So when you come back, matter of fact, you got your paper with you?
Nah, I love my notebook.
All right, so yeah, when you come back, well, look, just see if you can remember this, right? 1 is Allah, 2 is be a born, and 3 is see, S-E-E, right? And then come back with the definitions for those.
Wait, you said 1 is Allah
Yeah,
and 2 is what?
be a born.
Be a born?
Be or born.
Be or born.
Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
You said S-E.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all can already see, right? How those first three right there, are you seeing how that coincide with the mathematics already? You see what I'm saying? And as you know, it's just, you see, that's why for me, it's easy to recall this stuff because it all coincides, it's all related. It's not like unrelated trivia that you just remember in dates and shit like in school. You understand what I'm saying? You get into the meaning of what this shit really means, and then on top of that, you living it out. You see what I'm saying? So it's like with any other job, you know what I'm saying? You could be a doctor, but then if you're away from the shit for 20 years, it's not gonna, you know what I mean? So that's why each and every day, each and every week.
I have one more question for you.
Mhm.
What's the difference between, I think you had told me that when it comes to mathematics, you can add, you can also multiply.
Mhm.
So what's the differences in what you're supposed to apply? Like, when am I supposed to add, when am I multiplying, or did it just happen at the same time and come up with
Well, that's really kind of for you to decide. So like, for instance, take it to the application level, right? We got knowledge and wisdom, men and women, you know what I'm saying? You add man and women, you know what I'm saying? And y'all multiply. You know what I'm saying? You add a woman on to your cipher and then y'all multiply. You see what I mean? So it's the same thing with any other. So right now, you're 22, right? Gotta add it. 2 + 2 is 4, right? Now it just happens to occur one of the, right? 2 × 2 is 4 also. You see what I'm saying? But whatever numbers that you see, you know what I'm saying? You adding and multiplying, but it's not just about the numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's about, this is a cipher where it's things that you want to learn. You add your presence. You understand what I'm saying? And you multiply your knowledge. Yeah. Like I said, you the chef. You see what I mean? So if you're gonna put onions and garlic or whatever, you see what I mean? See, I'm God. Don't get me wrong, I'm teaching that. But see, that's not, I'm teaching you who you are. You understand what I'm saying?
So it's like, there's like an element of creativity to it. So I mean, even like,
Yes.
even if you understand every single lesson in the whole 5%, you still have to apply your own creativity.
Yeah. That's one of the things we waking up. That's one of the things that have been destroyed, right? Is our creative power, right? The power of things, knowledge and wisdom and understanding that comes from in us. You see what I mean? Because we in society, right, where so much comes this way, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we spending our whole time comprehending that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so these different forms of entertainment, that's one of the things it does.
It keeps you growing.
It shuts down your creative power. You see what I mean? So just look at the entertainment, right? Look at media. See, if you read a book, right, you gotta imagine how the places look. You gotta imagine how the people's voices sound. If they say the person had this kind of accent, you gotta imagine all that. You gotta use your creative power. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if you hear it on the radio, right? One time they used to have programs like TV shows, which was on the radio, right? Now I can hear your voice. I can hear your expressions and your, when you're talking loud and how your emotions is shown through your words. I can hear all that, so I don't have to use my imagination for that no more. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when I give you TV in the movies, now you just zombied out. You doing no thinking. You zombied out. It's just because everything is given to you. So your creative power has been destroyed. Or even with these video games. Once upon a time, kids had to make up their own games. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should walk around, you should find a stick with a bend in it and walk around like that's a gun, like we playing, you know what I'm saying? Cops and robbers and shit. That's how I mean. But see now, when you play the video game, that whole thing has already been imagined by some other people.
I know.
So your creative power this time has been totally destroyed.
Well, that's
And that's one of the things that this knowledge wakes up.
yeah.
See what I'm saying? Look, even creative people is not that creative. Like you go to movies, like nigga, I could have wrote down the script for another movie. You know what I mean? Or you listen to the song, like all you did is did this nigga song over.
That be me with music.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Even the creative people, their creative power is stunted because of just the whole way they grew up without ever having, you know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to the old musicians, right? And they tell like who's the dude? I think it was Jameson. You know what I'm saying? And he said how he started playing the bass was he nailed the string to the wall and he just pulled it tight. And that's how he first learned how to play bass. Like, see, that's creative power. You know what I mean? When motherfuckers say, damn, son, how we gonna get the sound though, man? How we gonna get the sound? Hey, yo, we about to go in the light pole and hook some shit up. We about to nigga raise some shit and we about to have sound. See, that's creative power.
Yeah.
People couldn't do no shit like that, man.
No, well, they're trying to take away our creative power. They're trying to make like a predetermined program for all of society now.
Well, I think they've done away with creative power. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of, like you said, what program can they put in there where your creative power is supposed to be?
Yeah.
What program can they put in there now? You see what I mean? To make you do, you know, whatever is could possibly be the thing, make you go out and stand online to buy video games, make you, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you know, like in a couple months, they're gonna have everybody crowded around Walmart.
Well, you know what?
You know what I'm saying? Just because they can drop that program, they don't even know.
I think that there's got to be a way to use creative energy to destroy all that.
Well, yeah, as soon as you got to realize that the people that, you know, they try and destroy your creative power, just the existence of your creative power, you know, just the existence of you having wisdom, you know, and being able to analyze things. You know what I mean? Like I was just saying, I was thinking like, yo, I'm not in the like marketing people, right? People that's marketing, they don't have me in their list of people. Like I don't look at TV and see shit and be like, yeah, you know, I need one of those. I don't. They're not selling shit to me. You see what I mean? Because you know, like I said, with you know, like but it's on sale though. I gotta get it now. Nah, you know what I'm saying? We'll get it. You know, see, because my convenience and what I gotta do might be worth more than that little $10 to $15. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, so now what, you know, if you're gonna, well, I saved the $15, but then I didn't eat dinner the week because I spent the money on this shit while I'm trying to save $15. All right, you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, just the existence that you would have a strong enough mind not to show up at Walmart on December 20, on November, whatever is the Black Friday. Just that if your mind could just withstand that, they couldn't last a week.
Everything's so programmed.
Yeah. That's how they actually exist. That's why we call them the devil. You see what I mean? Because they exist through the suffering, ignorance, and pain of other people. Some people came in the room here. See if I catch up with y'all, man. I'm way behind. I'm not even going to skim real quick. Dollar Washer said 9 planets or 9 stages of one planet. Is this like coming from the side rally that can't call it? Dollar Washer, Divine Cipher, Love, Hello, right? Okay. All right, so yeah, we caught up. Y'all had a nice side rally there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody over here, that's my fault in the medicine cabinet. I gotta get on point. I was unaware that I was building for about 2 hours, and the people in the medicine cabinet, they didn't even have sound. but listen, we get things together. Shout out to the medicine cabinet. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see y'all tomorrow. I actually might have some well, I ain't even we leave it, but it might get interesting. It might get interesting tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know what I'm saying, we didn't get a chance to get into too much in the room. So we'll see if what questions y'all have later on. Everybody in the meantime, between time, do the each one teach one, hit the like button, share this on your other pages, your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to take it down. I've been up since pretty early. Like I said, the medicine cabinet, we've already signed out here from the G building. I'm going to say peace. And hopefully we'll be back on tomorrow.
You gonna be ahead tomorrow?